Praised be Jesus Christ. What do you think of Daniel chapter 13? By the way, this chapter will not be found in 66 books, Bibles, incomplete Bibles. They don't only lack the 7 deuterocanonical books, as they call it, but they also lack some passages from the book of Daniel and some passages from the book of Esther. So Daniel chapter 13 is where we have the story of Saint Susanna. Saint Susanna, a holy woman from the tribe of Judah, who was accused falsely by 2 crooks, 2 old men who desired her beauty and tried to convince her to sleep with them. Of course, Susanna refused, despite their threat of accusing her of having a sexual relationship with a young man there in the garden of her husband. She knew they could only believe them, but she said, I better fall into the hands of God than into your hands, and cried out. They also cried out, and people came around and they said, look, this woman, she has just committed the unbelievable, the despicable here in the land of Israel with a young man who was too strong for us and escaped over the fence. Susanna was led to her death sentence. But before they could put her to death, the Spirit of God was awakened in the heart of that young man, Daniel, who henceforth is a prophet. Go back to the place of judgment. These men have given false evidence against her, and he convinced them of false witness. According to the law, they were sentenced with the same sentence that treacherous iniquity, malevolence had imagined for their victim. Now, this is a happy end, if you want. The just is saved by God, who triumphs. What if there is no divine intervention? What if the just is actually put to death? Is God no more God? Or is that just no more just? This is the point. And the resurrection of the dead is for us a firm pillar for us not to believe that triumphant iniquity here on earth, which appears everywhere here on earth, even as we live and speak now. Note, the resurrection of the dead forbids that we may think triumphant iniquity is victorious over God. There is a judgment to come after death. There is the resurrection, and either heaven or hell. And Jesus came precisely so that men who all are culpable of sinning, even the just, Jesus came so that men might escape hell by converting from the treacherous ways to righteousness by entrusting their lives into God's hands, and more insistently by believing in He whom the Father sent, His Word. Believe in His Word, and His Word took flesh and is Christ, and rely on the vicarious suffering and the redemptive work of Christ the Lord on the cross, He who died for us and is risen, alive, triumphant. Praised be Jesus Christ.